What's going on, you guys, and welcome back to our latest edition of Raiders Latest News, Silly Songs with Larry. Those of you that know and have watched the show for a little bit, you know what I am referring to. Veggie Tales kind of gives off that similar vibe. The way it always starts out with, Silly Songs with Larry. This is Raiders Latest News with the Sports Beat podcast. Anyway, not trying to get too much into the weeds. Obviously, Ben Johnson's been the talk of town, kind of wondering which way he's going to lean here in the next couple of weeks, especially with the Lions now getting ready to play the Commanders. That one's going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be really fun. But Ben Johnson, been the topic of discussion, and a big reason for that is, yes, Tom Brady, who I think it can be argued that definitely got the Raiders' foot in the door there, because I don't know that without Tom Brady that they would have been in that particular position, because let's be real, the Raiders' job is not necessarily as tantalizing as the Chicago Bears or maybe even the Jets at this point, maybe even the Jaguars. I don't know. I personally think that the Raiders' job is actually not that bad, especially considering the talent you already have, expectations being a little bit lower, not lawyered. I can't quit with How I Met Your Mother references. But essentially, there is a lot going on for this Raiders position, and I think that Tom Brady helped illuminate the possibilities for Ben Johnson, if you will. But anyway, the point is that Tom Brady was a major topic of discussion, as he is said to he's looking to keep his deal with Fox, essentially, or at least serve during the portion of it, which is interesting. Like I said, his agent came out with a statement to ESPN, basically essentially saying that he has a tremendous amount of fun working with Fox this year, and he's really excited about the future with Fox and his growth on their team. He said, by the way, his agent is Don Yee, not Lee, good Lord. And this year was the first year of a long relationship. So signed a 10-year, $375 million deal in 2022. And so the Raiders minority stake was also approved, as well too. So a lot of people are wondering if that's a conflict of interest. I don't know. But overall, sounds like he's going to stay on for the majority of his deal and be able to serve with the Raiders and try to help them make them win. Speaking of helping the Raiders win, so Brandon Brown is in the running for the GM job with the Raiders. Now, if you don't know who Brandon Brown is, he was right now he's the assistant GM for the Giants. And if you ask the Giants, he's integral because he helped them, get back to the playoffs in 2022 and all that kind of stuff, which I think is true. But to me, Brandon Brown is special because of he spent time at Boston College, also with the Philadelphia Eagles. He was the director of pro personnel with the Eagles, spent 5 total seasons with the Eagles, climbing up the ranks and everything under Howie Roseman, and really showed himself to be a solid scout as well as somebody that knows how to build a roster. Honestly, he got a couple of interviews last year, and honestly, I think he'd be a fantastic fit for the Raiders to be the new GM. And so I think that is definitely, adding him to the list, is definitely good for the Raiders. And I think that just expanding this search is only going to help everyone. Speaking of help everyone, well, okay, maybe this isn't helping anybody, but being a Vikings fan as well, other than a Raiders fan, I know of these two guys, right? Sam Darnold and Kirk Cousins, who have been a major topic of discussion just in terms of, probably not going to be on their teams next year. That's really what they've been in the discussions about. So Sam Darnold was playing really, really well this year until he wasn't. Great. And then Kirk Cousins, I never wish ill upon anybody, but he got what he deserved, chasing the money, which, it is what it is for the Falcons fans, who I feel for. Michael Penix Jr. looks like he's the real deal, though. But anyway, Kirk Cousins looking like he's not penning out there in his first year at Atlanta. And could the Falcons potentially move on from Kirk Cousins after 1 year? I think it's very, very possible. Now, I think that Ben Johnson or whoever the head coach is going to be for the Raiders is going to have a lot of decisions to make. The bridge quarterback arguably could be one of the biggest ones. Now, I personally believe that Aiden O'Connell should be the guy until proven otherwise. Get this guy a little bit more help and maybe go from there. But these two could make some sense if you could, keep the price down and get him for cheap, which Darnold's probably going to get at least $30 million. And then Kirk Cousins, I think you could probably do a Russell Wilson type situation where maybe you only sign him for a veteran minimum and then maybe just have him come in and at least be a bridge quarterback. Maybe. Speaking of being a bridge quarterback, so this was brought up, Sports Illustrated brought this out a little bit, I want to say earlier today, a couple hours ago, basically. Hendon Hooker is the backup quarterback for the Lions, a former third-round pick a couple of years ago. I think it was back in 2023. But overall, Hendon Hooker has been somebody that I have had a draft crush on for the last couple of years, and kind of wonder what he went there with the Lions. Like, he's been kind of just sitting and getting better, which is great and everything. A little bit older of a prospect. I think he's going to be 27 next year. So it is what it is at that point. But I love me some Hendon Hooker. I think he would be a fantastic addition to the Raiders. And Sports Illustrated came out, Hondo Carpenter doing some amazing work over there, basically coming out and saying that Hendon Hooker could be a candidate that the Raiders trade for if they sign Ben Johnson. That's a big if. But I think Hendon Hooker would be a good addition. I think that overall, obviously, there's a lot of things and moving parts with a new head coach and new GM and all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, I wouldn't mind giving up maybe a 4th-round pick for him just to kind of see what you got. But at the same time, there's an understanding that Aiden O'Connell is going to compete here, or at least there should be. And so Hendon Hooker, I think, would be really, really interesting. As just being a guy that would, if Ben Johnson was indeed hired as the head coach, he would already know the system. He could help Aiden O'Connell, and I think he'd be, at least at the very worst, a very solid backup. And so, but I really like Hendon Hooker. I'd really would like to see what they got in him. But like we said, there's a lot still going on with the Raiders. Latest GM news, all that kind of stuff, and I think it's going to be really interesting as we wrap up the rest of the head coaching searches here as we get closer to the Super Bowl. I don't know. We'll see what definitely happens and everything. But like we said, we love bringing you guys the Raiders' latest news, and we thank you guys so much for joining us. If you guys saw anything else or if we missed anything, let us know in the comment section down below. Also, let us know what you guys think about our new segment, and we will see you on the next video.